Sound is okay? I just want to make sure. And I'll start over. Okay, 7 minutes of meme. Yes, all right, good to go. Yay! Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Oh my God, I'm so happy we worked this out. Can you imagine me talking for an hour? And you are not hearing a thing? That would not be really appealing and convenient. Okay, so let's start over. Actually, you know what? I've started this Facebook Live by singing. Now I have to sing again. I started by singing, all you need is love. Da, 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 da. All you need is love. Da, 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 da. All you need is love, love. Love is all you need. And I think that is pretty much true. The Beatles actually wrote a couple of songs with very deep meaning. Another one of those songs is Let It Be, Let It Be, but that's for another night, not for tonight. We are going to talk about love. Love, romantic relationships, falling in love. One of the, I think, most challenging emotions we can live, we can experience, because falling in love is beautiful, to live on that pink cloud and everything's so beautiful. In the meantime, it blurs us. It makes us really blind, and love is blind, that saying. I think that too is true. So let's cover the top of the waves tonight. I cannot dig too deep into this topic because we only have an hour. And so I'm going to cover what I think is very valuable to understand about romantic relationships. I will also tell you how I discovered that. I just, didn't take it out of the air. It is really something that I investigated a long time ago, more than 10 years ago, actually. And how I found true love too, because, just like most of us, I had a couple mistakes. I had a couple broken hearts, and I had a couple disappointments. And, it is so challenging and tempting then to get stuck when it comes to love and romantic relationships. So I prepared a workbook for you guys, okay? You can download that workbook if you type the word workbook in the chat box. Very simple. You saw it other people doing. You can do it as well. Just type the word workbook in the chat box, and then you will find it in your messenger box. It takes a couple of minutes, so give it some time, okay? Systems sometimes need some time, just like our mic tonight. But I'm happy to spend this with you, and thank you for being here, really. So first of all, we are going to talk about love, 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 love. Let me tell you my story briefly, because, I'm not here to tell my whole love story, but I was married for 11 years. I have two beautiful children. They are 23 and 28 now, a girl and a boy. And, after 11 years of marriage, it was over. And I knew it was over because there was no love. There was still some respect, but there was no love left. It was pretty abusive. And I got really stuck and even sick. And I knew that if I wanted to save myself, I had to get out of the relationship. And it was a very tough decision, because I promised myself that would not happen to me. And the reason why I promised myself is because my parents were divorced. They got divorced when I was 14 years old. Was terrible, really terrible. And, so I thought I could do better, but I didn't have the awareness, of course. And so I got married 11 years later, got divorced, and really was disappointed. Like, for me, it was over. I was going to remain single the rest of my life. And maybe you understand that kind of feeling, right? And that kind of reflection. And so many, many, many years later, and I'm now skipping many years, I come to the conclusion that, alone is just alone. And is this really what life is all about? And although I still had the conviction that, I didn't need a man in my life. And I know many women say that. I don't need a man in my life. And then we become tough ladies, right? And we want to handle our own things. And I was doing pretty good, I must say, being a single mom with 2 children. I was doing pretty good. I had my own business, everything was great. But then I asked myself, there must be more. There must be more than just this, right? And my main question it was, does the prince on the white horse exist? Just like in the Disney fairy tales, does it exist? Is there something like true love, real love? Is there something like the best relationship, the ultimate relationship? Not perfect, because perfection doesn't exist. So don't really look for perfection, because you will be very disappointed. There is no such thing. And if you see couples acting as if they are perfect, they're playing a beautiful game, because everywhere, trouble exists, because this is life, period. If you have a business, trouble exists in your business. If you have a body, sometimes you have problems with your body. If you have money, you're earning money, sometimes you have problems with money. It is life. So sometimes you have problems in your relationship, okay? It is what it is, and it is very normal. But my main question was, is there something like the highest, most beautiful form of a relationship? And my investigation started. I read many books. I was listening to tens of, maybe I don't know, maybe 50 podcasts and audio tapes and so many audio books, and because I wanted to understand, I wanted to know. And I was asking a lot of people in my academy, my friends. One of my friends, they really live, like, for me, the ultimate relationship. And I was looking at them and I was like, wow, so it must be possible. And I was also asking a lot of challenging questions, like, do you fight? And how do you fight? And how do you make up? And, it was really interviewing and coaching people in my investigation. And I came up with a number of insights. And I wrote a book about it, actually. It's called Long Live Love, but it's not been translated, I think, in English yet. I don't know. But one of the main graphics is this graphic. Now, if this is your first time with us, let me just explain what you see. Okay? On the board, we see 2 stick men. This person is a stick man, and this person is a stick man. Now, so this graphic represents a human being, okay? A human being gifted with a mind, a thinking mind, and an emotional mind, and a body, and 4 limbs, of course. And before I jump into the teaching, I want to tell you that I'm not referring to men or women, okay? Because I know that the law of attraction can be very funny and very surprising. So there is an attraction between 2 people. And frankly, I don't care if these people are women, men, a man and a woman and a woman, a man and a man. I don't care. As long as they love each other and there's harmony and they want to create something beautiful, I'm good. This is 2020, guys. I think it is time for us to get beyond all the paradigms about gender and what love should be or would be, right? So the first thing I want to tell you is get out of the paradigm box. And so there's a stickman and there's a stickman, but this can be a stick chick and a stick chick. You see what I mean? So I'm not really talking about men and women. And now you see 4 levels here. There are 4 levels of connection that I discovered that people have. So when I was talking to people about their relationship, and of course, I was also talking to people who didn't have a good relationship, like me. or singles who are longing for a relationship and just couldn't find the right partner. I was talking to hundreds of people in a formal and informal way, just to get in their mind and understand what love is all about and what that romantic relationship is all about. And this is the foundation. I saw that the best relationships have 4 types of connection. Okay? So between two people, there are 4 different types of connection. And of course, I'm going to tell you what that means. So now you can question yourself, right? And you can ask yourself, do I have that with my partner? If you don't have a partner right now and you are a single, you can go back to the last relationship in your mind and ask yourself, did I have that with that partner? Probably not quite, because the relationship didn't last. But of course, every case is, very relative, very personal. And I don't want to jump into conclusions. I just want to show you that you can now ask yourself, do I have this in my relationship? Is there something I need to work on? And maybe it's just not there, right? So, okay, the first connection is spiritual or energetic connection. Now, I'm talking about I'm talking about a spiritual or an energetic connection. It is exactly the same. For one person, the word spirit is awkward, and they're like, I don't believe in in the spiritual, um, mumbo jumbo, kind of esoteric side of the equation. Great, then you use the word energy. For some of you, you don't really relate to energy, but maybe you relate to the word divine, right? Or higher intellect. That's all good. I'm talking about a recognition in energy. You recognize the energy of somebody else. You meet somebody, you talk to that person, and it seems as if you know each other forever. Like, oh my God, it's strange that we only met 2 hours ago. I feel like, we knew each other somehow. And I don't want to go to the formal life stories or whatever you're thinking. I'm just saying that there is a spiritual connection. It means that you are living on the same vibe, right? The same kind of vibration. And you can say if it's a good vibration or not a good vibration. Yeah, a soul connection. That's a good word. Exactly. A soul connection, soul recognition. We often talk about soul mates too. And of course, that it is something that you have a very strong connection to. And also what I always see with people who are highly connected spiritually, they can finish each other's sentence. They can think the same things the same time. And they come up with the same ideas at the same time. My husband and I, we have that all the time. Like he would come up, out of his man cave where he works. It's his man cave. No chicks allowed there. And, and we would have, our debriefing moment during apéro, cocktails before we go to dinner. And we talk the day through, and we would just come up with exactly the same idea. And we were like, wow, we are really connected. That is that kind of connection that I'm talking about. It's really cool, it's fun, and it is like, you feel each other. You feel each other. The second connection is an intellectual connection. Now, I'm not talking about IQ. I'm not saying that you have to have the same IQ in order to have a good relationship, but you get to have some kind of the same interests. One of the things I strongly believe, for a relationship to succeed is that you have dreams together. You can have your own dreams, just like here. You see these little clouds representing the dreams and the ideas, the concepts, the longings, the desires that we have in life, the things we want to create. Maybe you want to build a house together. We are going to renovate the kitchen together. Well, we're not going to do this, otherwise it would be a mess or stay a mess. But brainstorm ideas, make plans for the future, have a dream that you can work on together. Zoran and I have a dream together that one day we can live abroad for at least half of the year, and we are not really tied to one location. And yeah, we share the same dream, so that is important. It's also a matter of communication. First of all, do you understand each other? I mean, if you're not talking a language that both of you can understand, it's gonna be hard, right? With hand and feet, I know, and I know where you can best learn a language, but there must be a way that you can understand each other, right? And that you can talk things through. Communication is a huge topic when it comes to relationships. And being able to express what you think, express what you feel without offending the other, and without taking everything personal, and without being offended and all emotional, and especially without blaming each other, I think is key in a relationship. I will show you later when we are going to talk about the 7 levels of love. Number 3 is an emotional connection. And of course, that is where we fall in love. And sometimes it's head over heels and it's very overwhelming because now emotions are giving us feedback about the other person, right? And I always say, and I think this is important when it comes to falling in love, maybe the possibility of creating a relationship, of building a relationship with that person exists. Maybe not. Some people come in our life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. Sometimes we attract somebody for a rather short period of time because that person is mirroring us. And I'm going to show you a picture in a minute that is going to show you that. Right? Sometimes people just are passengers in our life, and we can have a strong, passionate, romantic relationship for maybe a couple of months, and then, it ends because it's just over. That person came in our life for a reason. So not everybody that comes to our life is meant for life, okay? Other people come for a season. Like I had a marriage for 11 years. For me, that's a season of 11 years. I'm grateful for that marriage. I'm happy that I had it. I have 2 beautiful children, and I wish my ex-partner well from the bottom of my heart. But at some moment, it was time to move on. And then it's time to say goodbye, wish each other well, give each other the freedom back and say, I wish you well. And I think that's still a very hard thing to do, okay? Now, falling in love will become loving your partner. It will mature somehow, and that's a good thing. And I can say now, after 10 years with my husband, 6 years of marriage, every day I'm still overwhelmed with feelings of love. And I know that it's the same from the other side. And we can express that love also. I'm still surprised that there's so little people who can say that they can love somebody. Like just saying, I love you is so hard. When I was doing my comedy show about love, Long Live Love, the comedy show, it's a long time ago, about 8 years ago, I met a woman and she said, I'm still hoping. I said, what are you hoping for? That at least one time, once my husband would tell me that he loves me. Because when I tell him I love you, he says, ditto. Just like in the film Ghost, remember? Where Patrick Swayze couldn't say I love you, he only said ditto. And I said, well, some people just never learned how to express their love. So that is also a sense of emotional connection. And again, communication is very important there. And then there's a physical attraction, physical connection. Of course, you have to find each other attractive, right? I think that's normal. And very often that is the first thing we see. That is why many dating sites now blur their pictures, because, there's more than just a physical attraction. But hello, I remember back in the days when I would go to the disco and, a cute guy would come in. That's the first thing that I would notice, like, hello, Lucas, what's that? When I would go out with my friends, that is why it is physical, and it is there because we live in a physical three-dimensional world where we see each other's bodies. So I think it is obvious, but then again, there's more than that, right? The physical connection also means, can you live under the same roof? Because for some people, that is just not possible, right? They drive each other crazy, and it's just not possible because they have different values and different principles there. And then, of course, sexuality also comes to the physical connection. But of course, you can have a one-night stand. I think we all know that, right? That's a season or reason. But of course, it is the emotional part that will support the physical connection in a long-lasting relationship. All right, let's go to the next graphic now. I have to do something first. When we talk about falling in love, what I discovered when I was talking to people, and what I discovered in myself the hard way, is that we are practically looking in the mirror. When we attract somebody and we fall in love, and it doesn't matter if it goes head over heels or if it takes time, it really doesn't matter. When you fall in love, I discovered that you fall in love because there is something in you that you need to develop. That's the main reason why falling in love is so overwhelming and is so strong. And we've all been there, right? Or maybe you are in that position now, today, eating your soup, and you don't see the soup. You see a face because you're daydreaming about that person. And that emotion is so strong that, now it takes charge of your life. Who has been there? I have been there many, 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 many times, especially as a teenager. Oh my God, it was so challenging, writing the person's name, on my notebooks from school and on my agendas, and just crazy because I didn't understand a thing, of course, about relationships. And so every time now when I see a person falling in love with somebody else, and I know how I was meeting my partner, he was mirroring a lot of things back to me. And I know by universal law, that I was doing exactly the same to him, right? And I remember in the beginning, we were having these conversations. Does like attracts like, or does opposites attract? Have you heard that? Does like attract like, or does opposites attract? And the answer is yes. Yes, like attracts like. And yes, opposites attract. And I'm going to explain you what I mean, because I think it's a very important insight. When we fall in love, we think it's all about the other person. Oh my God, he's so beautiful, and he's so cute, and he's so smart, and the way he drives his car, and the way he parks his car, it's also one. And frankly, that's not what it's all about. That person is just reflecting us back to us. It is our soul telling something to ourselves, like, hello, wake up, I need to tell you something about you. Because the things that we love so much in another person is something that we have too, but it is still dormant. somewhere in your subconscious mind, it is still sleeping. And now we fall in love with characteristics of another person, and we think, oh, geez, wow, cool, how amazing. And frankly, we are saying that to ourselves. Isn't that cool? Now, maybe I am crashing your pink cloud right now, and maybe you don't like what I'm saying, and that's possible, because I mean, I had to swallow when I discovered this. I was like, really? Is this all about me? Geez. And you know how I discovered that? One day, I started making a list. I was single mom, 2 children, my own business, having a great life, honestly. Did a lot of work on me, and I'm going to tell you why that's important. So I was in a position in my life that everything was great, but I just didn't have a romantic partner, right? And one day I started making a list. What do I want in a relationship? Okay? And when I would walk in the mornings, I would ask myself, what do I want in a relationship? If tomorrow I can have that most beautiful relationship with an awesome guy, what do I want it to be? And when I was walking, and of course that is mostly how it happens, because when you put your body, to work, when you walk, motion creates emotion, my mind would start to run, and I would think about characteristics that I really would like in a person. So I would record it in my iPhone, not to forget. After a week, I had 144, you hear me correctly, 144 characteristics of my perfect mate. And it's not about the curly hair and the blue eyes and, all these kind of physical things. It was really like, what do I want that partner for me to be? Because I had a relationship, I had another shorter relationship, it all failed, and it failed because I knew that there were struggles. There were levels where we just didn't get along, and where we couldn't talk, and where we couldn't, even walk through the same door at some times. And I was thinking like, oh, there's so many things I want differently if the possibility for the right partner exists. So 144, I challenge you, 144 characteristics of the perfect mate. And when I met Zoran, which is a completely crazy story, I'm going to save this for another time. But basically, the universe threw him back in my life after 25, no, not 25. You could say how much, 20 years or something. And all of a sudden, there was this guy that I knew when I was 24 years old. And I was like, what? Oh my God, really? And that was so surprising. But when I started to check, my boxes, I was like, oh, geez, it's really him. It is him. And my husband has 140 out of 144 characteristics of the perfect mate. So now, don't be a negative person and say, what's the other 4? Right? Because there's always somebody in the crowd that says, oh, what's the other 4 he doesn't have? Does it really matter, you think? I think this is a great match. If you can have 140 out of 144 characteristics, I think that's an awesome match. I think you would sign up for that, right? So anyway, when I took the list and I was reading everything that I was just, writing down over the course of a week or 2 weeks, I don't remember, honestly, I realized that I was looking in the mirror. I was really looking in the mirror, and I'm like, oh, a lot of things on this list I want to be. I want to be that person. And of course, I can never be a man, that's where opposites attract. But I understood that, when I fell in love, I was looking in the mirror, and it was a very powerful insight. Okay? Now, here's the yin and yang sign. I think you know that. Hit get notified. You never, you never want to miss Inge. Hi, Eric Reed. Sending my love to you, my friend, all over to the United States. I hope you are good and you are safe. Welcome to this broadcast. Nice to see you. So I'm going to proceed. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What's happening? You see, too much energy here. What is going on? Let me check this. Hopefully it comes back. Anyway, I'm going to talk about the yin and yang sign. We'll see what this screen is going to do. Let's give it 2 minutes. The yin and yang sign is a beautiful sign that I wanted to show you, but you have it here in your workbooks right there, all right? And the sign has a white side and it has a black side, and it is exactly equal. And now my husband is coming to the rescue to see if he can fix my screen. You see, honey, that is why I need you. One of the 140 reasons why I need you. I didn't touch it. Did you see that falling out? I continue. Okay. So the yin and yang sign really shows us what a relationship is all about. Because a relationship is about the whole and not the parts. Okay? In the yin and yang sign, there's a white part and there's a black part. And so even the white part has a black dot and the black part has a white dot because they are very complementary. And together they make a whole, right? It's also a sign that a lot of yoga teachers, for instance, use to express harmony, balance, these kind of principles. And I think, a good relationship should be balanced, right? Should be in harmony, where partners are equal and where partners, can talk honestly from the heart, express their vulnerability, be true to themselves and to the relationship. I truly believe that that is the highest form of love and relationship that we can, that we can experience. And that is why we are here, guys. We are in this world to experience that wholeness, that you are my hero. What did you do? Anyway, applause for Zoran. Yay! He fixed the screen. Look, the rest I can do myself. This is really cool. There we go. Here's the yin and yang sign again. All right, 2 more graphics and for this episode, and then we're done. So if this should be a man and this should be a woman, and again, I'm not talking about men and women, I'm rather talking about female and male energy, because there's also a law of gender, right? And the law of gender says we need both to make a whole, right? If you look at nature, that's exactly what happens, right? You need a female part, you need a male part, you need female energy, and you need male energy. And believe me, I don't care in what kind of body it is. I have friends, 2 ladies who are married, happily married for at least like 10 years. And physically they are women. But if you talk to both of them, she is such a man, energy-wise. So the black side here represents the female side, the negative side, the downward side. Sorry, girls. The drama side, the ego side. The white side here represents the male side, the thinking side. This is the feeling side. This is the thinking side. But also the upward part, the doing part, and the positive part. So we have all of this in us. So why do opposites attract? Because if I have a lot of female energy, I will attract a lot of male energy to make a whole. Do you see that? And you see it, it's obvious. Sometimes you see this like huge, muscle dude, like 2 meters tall, and his girlfriend is like this tiny little girl with long blonde hair, and she's like 50 kilos, and she's like 160 and very, very tiny. But together, they make a whole. And it's beautiful to see that because they complement each other. Now, I also must say that the relationships, the couples where the diversity is big, are the most challenging because, it clashes a lot. On the other hand, it's the relationship, it's the relationships that have the most of growth potential. Okay? Just for your insight, I can talk days about this. I really love it. And once I understood it, I was like, oh, now I get it, right? I get it. And even in our business, Zoran and I are just the perfect, and I'm now using the perfect business partners because, I'm the spokesperson, I'm in front, I deliver all the insights. Zoran is the captain on the ship. He's the manager. Look, he fixes my screen. Otherwise, we would stay in the dark. And of course, we need other people in our team to make the whole, because otherwise we don't grow. But as partners, it's just fantastic, right? And then last but not least, I want to show you the levels of awareness in relationships, because I think this is the main reason why relationships succeed or fail. I understood the levels of awareness a long time ago. Ever since I got certified as a coach, this was one of the main insights. Like, when you gain awareness, let me tell you what awareness is. Awareness is the way you understand yourself, other people, the world, and the universe. That is how you understand it. So there are 7 different levels, and I have like 15 minutes left. I think I will go over a little because we had no sound for the first 6 minutes. Anyway, ever since I understood the 7 levels of awareness, I knew that there must also be 7 levels of love, because I strongly believe that people are meant to stay together, that the relationship can succeed as long as partners grow together. I see it in my academy. We attract many people, just as I said in the beginning, with relationship issues, a lot. And especially now, because when fear runs the world and Miss COVID is not done yet, partners are very scared, and this fear is running through the veins of the relationship and is destroying a lot, really a lot. I see a lot of couples fighting, and a lot of people split up already because during the lockdown, all of a sudden, they had to enjoy each other's company 24/7, and that was really not what they were expecting. So relationships that were on the edge failed during the lockdown. But yet, we know that there are many businesses that are going to fail, many relationships are going to fail, because they know that they are not growing. And growth is natural. Growth is mandatory. Growth is the essence of the whole universe, guys. We are here to grow. If you are not today better than yesterday, you're not growing. If you're not growing, you are going backwards. If you are going backwards, your relationship is due to failing. It is, it's a law. It's not something that I invented. It's something that I understood by studying the laws of the universe, the quantum physics, etc. It is mandatory. It is necessary. It is extremely healthy to grow as a couple, okay? And growth, you can measure your growth in terms of awareness. Awareness. How do you understand yourself? How do you understand your relationship? How do you understand the world you live in and the whole universe? That is awareness. Okay, I'm going to cover this top of the waves because I'm not in my time ability to go really in depth, but I think you'll understand the principle. No awareness or very low awareness are people, I will zoom that in, who are sleepwalking through life. They are literally sleepwalking through life. What does it mean? They don't grow. They don't learn anything new. Every day is the same. They blame each other, right? They live like cats and dogs. We see two levels of awareness here. There is animal and there is masses. Do you see that? Number one, animal. Number two, mass. Now, what do animals do? They fight. Cats and dogs fight. A lot of people fight in relationships because they come from their own programming, reflecting that programming upon the other person, and is blaming the other person, for their unhappiness, frankly. Look what you make me do. Look what do you do to me? What are you saying to me? How can you blame me? But in the meantime, I'm blaming you, of course, because like attracts like. And yes, opposites attract. It's in the opposite side that it becomes challenging because that is the place where you have to learn from each other. But these people don't learn from each other, they just blame each other. So especially on level 1, it is, if you look at all the negative, abusive, fighting relationships is the lowest level of awareness. And I think it's time they split up and they give each other's freedom back. Sometimes I see couples and I'm wondering, are they still not done punishing each other? Are they still not done bullying each other? Oh no, because we promised, for the law and for God and for the whole universe that we would stay together forever. YOLO, guys. I mean, you only live once, as far as we know, okay? Number 2, mass. Mass awareness, people who do things because they think that's the right thing to do. Oh, we got married. We promised for the law, for, the government and God that we would stay together. And you know what? We will stay together until our children will become 18 years old and leave for college or university. And then we will give each other's freedom back. Why would you stay in such a miserable environment? The environment, the vibration in these relationships, the tension, it's bad. You come in that kind of household. You come in through the door and you feel it like, ooh, I don't want to stay here. Ooh, my God, because they frankly hate each other and they are not speaking to each other, but that is what their life is all about. So this is not okay. And then there is this, like you guys probably, you are waking up and you're asking yourself, should there be more? That's what I did more than 10 years ago. Single mom, happy. I was happy, but I thought a piece of the puzzle was missing. And I started to investigate. I started to ask myself powerful questions. And that's the moment that you wake up. That's the moment that you start to long for something, higher, better, more beautiful than the place where you are now. And it is natural. It is healthy that happens, okay? Don't shut that voice down because that voice is the voice of your soul. It is normal that you want to grow. And you want to grow towards a partnership, towards that union, towards that wholeness, which is so natural for us human beings. So you start to aspire. Do you see that? Aspiration, individual, discipline. We have 3 more levels here. And this is the place where all our students are somewhere living. People who are craving for another life, for a better life, a better relationship. Singles who don't want to be single again, want to find the perfect mate. People who are living in a relationship, not sure, is this the right relationship? Should I stay? Should I go? Oh, it sounds like a song now. Should I say or should I go? Well, I don't know. It's very personal. It's very relative. And once we look into the relationship, of course, I understand very easily now where people are and if the relationship can be saved, yes or no. But people aspire, they want something more. Now, I see a lot of people aspiring a different relationship or a different life in their relationship, but really not doing anything. Hmm. If we just take another vacation, it will be okay. If we just buy a new car, if we just make another baby, my gosh, you know if we just maybe rebuild the kitchen, then our relationship is going to be okay. No, you are putting a band-aid on a wound that will never heal because the foundation is not okay. So aspiring people, they aspire a better life in their relationships, but that they're not really doing anything, in the core to become the person that is worthy of the better relationship, because that is the essence. When you and I are going to work together, and we can, right? If you want to really, attract the right person, if you really want the right relationship, be welcome in my academy. Really, I know I can help you, but there's a big but here. And that but says it's all about you. You will have to work on you first, because like attracts like. You can make 140 characteristics of the perfect mate. Sure, you can. But you have to become the person worthy of that person. So that means that you have to become that person too. Otherwise, you will never attract him or her. It's just not possible. There's a universal law that says, it's a law of vibration and the law of attraction, which is the secondary law of the law of vibration that says like attracts like and opposites attract. So if you are feeling unworthy, you will attract people who are going to show you that you are feeling unworthy, and they are going to prove you that you are going to feel unworthy. And I know this hurts. Every time I heard this, it's like salt in the wound. I know it hurts. It's a bitter pill to swallow. But I had to look in that mirror too. And that mirror was telling me, Inge, if you want to attract the right person, if you want to attract the person who has like 140 out of 144 characteristics, you better work on yourself, because you have to become the person worthy of that relationship. And that is what I did. I worked so hard on me. And frankly, I still am. I still am. Every day in my meditations, there is something that I want to get rid of, something in me, a characteristic, a part of my personality that I just don't like, and I need to fix it. And I believe that is the foundation of a very healthy relationship. And if you do that together, you will grow. And yes, you will fail. The individual is the person that comes to us and says, okay, I'm ready to fail. I'm ready to date again. For instance, I'm ready to get out of my house and see other people. I know in this time it's not so easy, but you will have to leave your comfort zone. One time in Costa Rica, long time ago, oh my God, this might be 8 years ago, we had this participant, really lovely dude, and I coached that person for a year. And then we did this Costa Rica retreat, which was just perfect. And I remember one night, Zoran and this person are standing on the porch of this beautiful retreat center. And they're talking with a glass of wine in their hands, watching the stars, in the middle of the rainforest. So beautiful. And that person says, you know what, maybe I need to lock myself up. Maybe I have to work on me first, like you guys say, and not date. And by the time I am the right person, probably I will attract the right person. And Zoran said, oh my gosh, no, this is not how it happens. You have to get out there, get some skin in the game, baby, enjoy life and date. And this person says, yeah, well, this is not the place where I will find her, because we were only maybe 10 people. It was, we don't go there anymore because we outgrew the venue, frankly. But it was a beautiful, magnificent, romantic, magical place. But we were just maybe 10 people, few guys, the rest were all women. It's typical in our industry. And he says, well, I'm not going to find her here, duh. You're never going to believe this. On their way back home, he fell in love in the airplane with one of the participants. No, not with a stranger, with one of the ladies who he just spent a whole week with in Costa Rica. And I checked about, some time ago, and they're still happily together. Now I think they're 8th year. So again, the universe is really funny, and you never know how it's going to occur. And honestly, I experienced it. I see Petra is online. She experienced it. Sometimes we look in that mirror and we're like, no, really? Are you throwing that person in my life? Is this my perfect match? Because, I'm going to tell you, it's going to happen in a way that you least expect it. And it is super, super funny. And also for me, after 20 years, when the universe threw Zoran back in my life, I was like, really? This dude? And I was trying to push it away. No, I don't want a relationship. I don't want a relationship. I don't want it. But hey, feelings were too strong. And then one day my soul told me, when are you going to wake up and recognize that this is it? This is it. Jump in. And 10 weeks later, we were living together. When it's right, I'm telling you. And then, of course, these higher levels is really in the experience of the relationship. Because once the honeymoon effect is over, like the first 3-4 months where everything's romantic and you show your best side and you're always the happily person, then the real you comes forth with the baggage, with the backpack full of fears, doubts, and paradigms and belief systems. And that is where the real relationship starts. And that is where people get spooked, because somebody can say, like, who are you? I don't know you. Where have you been the last four months? And then you can say, but I don't know you neither. I mean, where have you been for the last 4 months? And that is where the real relationship starts, because that is where you start to grow together. But that is also where most, relationships start to fail, because now all of a sudden, they have to, to deal with the fears and the doubts and the anxiety of somebody else. And that is also where communication, of course, will play a significant role, a very, very big role. So everything what I said tonight has just one foundation. Now you're saying, really, Inge, are you talking a whole hour to just give us one last sentence? Well, it's the conclusion, guys, okay? It is just the conclusion. The conclusion of my investigations and the so many conversations I had with people is your relationship will succeed or fail with your self-love. And I know it's cheesy, and it's, oh my God, I hear it all the time, and I read it on Instagram, it's always the same kind of memes. Oh, everything, you get to love yourself. You have to love yourself, I'm telling you. And that is why I realized that I really had to work on me first to become worthy of the right partner. Because I realized what a bitch I have been. Sorry for my words, but that is really what I was. I could be a very mean person. There were days, sometimes weeks, that I was not nice, that I was grumpy. And you know what? I even didn't realize it. I thought it was normal because the whole world around me was doing it. Of course, like attracts like. And only when I started growing, I was losing friends. As I told you, I was losing my relationship. I was losing people, but it was necessary. I had to unload, before I got up to the next level. And I had to get up to the next level to become worthy of the person that I truly wanted. You know, yes, the dream started with 140 characteristics. Of course, that is where the dream started. Absolutely. But you can only realize the dream in real life when you start to work on you. And where you can look in the mirror and ask yourself, could I become my own best friend? If I look at me, and the best thing to do is, watch yourself, watch your self-talk when you are standing in front of the mirror. What are you telling yourself? Are you telling yourself, hey, Chica, you look good today? Or are you telling yourself, oh my God, I need a lot of restoration work here. Oh my God, this is never going to work out. Are you telling yourself like, I like me? Or are you telling yourself, oh, I'm so stupid. I'm so clumsy. Ah, I'm amount to nothing. Oh my God, what did I just do? I'm such a failure. Because that is a habit, my friend. That self-talk, that self-destruction is a habit. And we do it and we think it is normal. We think it is just what we're supposed to do because the whole world does it. Well, I'm telling you, when you go up on the levels of awareness and you grow, you will see there are different people in the world. I meet people who don't knock themselves on the head anymore. Well, we all do it occasionally, of course, but I know people where, it's like 80% of the time of the day is like, oh shit, oh my God. Also blaming other people. Every person you blame is self-blaming. What? Well, I'm going to show you. Wait a second. Okay, I told you I'm going to get 5 minutes late, 5 minutes overtime. I can do that, yeah? Here we are. The universe is only one big mirror, my friend. The whole universe is not only your romantic partner, but the whole universe is one big mirror. Every person you meet is mirroring you. So how many times a day do you get frustrated about the behavior of your partner, your children, your parents, your friends, your boss, your co-workers? People do it all the time. But that's not self-love because you cannot even love another person. If you cannot love yourself, you're not able to love another person. And you know what's going to happen? You are going to attract somebody who is going to fulfill you. Like you are looking for somebody who can complement you. And that's a very unhealthy relationship because that other person is going to do the best at their abilities and it will never be never be enough because their love is going to vanish in a pit hole that is just has no bottom. It is unbelievable, right? So the whole world is your mirror. If you want to know what you are like, look at the 5 people who you spend the most time with. And there you are. And you know what? My friends were not too nice back in the days. My ex-husband was not too nice, but neither was I. I just didn't have the awareness to see that. I had to grow in my awareness. To see that. Okay? So guys, everything starts with self-love. And if you want to, we can help you. We can help you grow to become the person that you can fall in love with. And I think the day that you want to marry you is a good day. The day that you can become your own best friend is a very good day. It means you are ready for true love. If you're not there, no worries. You're at the perfect place, the perfect time right now. If you hear this message right now and it speaks to your heart, you are ready. Let's do this. Okay, I want to thank you. You can message us. You can chat with us. You can email us, support@ingrock.com. Feel free to connect with us however you want to do that, because I really, I live to help people. That's my purpose. That's why I came to this earth. I strongly believe that. So I want to thank you guys for spending this time with me. It's been an hour since we got the sound. Thank you so much for spending this time. I wish you tons of love, an abundance of love. I'm sending my love your way so you can have that already, and just be nice to you. You know, from the very moment that you wake up and you open your eyes, just be happy that you are you, and be happy that you're alive and that this gift uh, lays in front of you. Okay? Thank you, guys. Be well, and see you next Monday. Bye bye.